This creator asked people to share the incident from their hometown, and oh my god, some of these are actually insane. There was a dude who kept his dead mom, who died from natural causes, in a freezer so he could keep collecting her social security checks. People used to have "my mom is cooler than your mom" stickers. A lady got arrested for riding around the Walmart parking lot in a power wheelchair while drinking wine from a Pringles can. She sounds awesome. My town had an episode on unsolved mysteries. A church blew up at the time a choir was supposed to be practicing. No one was ever late, but that night, every single person was late. Arson and insurance, or guardian angels working overtime? We had a senior curse at our high school that killed a senior every year. The way I would just transfer. Because what? Local mechanic was poisoning his wife who had cancer with the help of her hired caregiver. Life insurance scam. Wife survived because their child figured it out. So not only did she survive cancer, she survived a homicidal husband and caregiver, and what? JonBenet Ramsey was a classmate in kindergarten. Our birthdays were 4 days apart. Oof. I have lived in a few towns with major incidents. Gypsy Blanchard, Brian Laundrie, but the one that really should have had more coverage is the cannibalism one. It's a rabbit hole. Look it up. Cassidy Rainwater. I'm not gonna look it up. I knew Andrea Yates. She was my mom's best friend's other friend. I have a beautiful memory of her kids running in a field. I always like to imagine they're still there, running and laughing. I was stationed in California and had a roommate who was odd. Years later, stationed in Texas, I saw my ex-roommate on TV. He was a serial killer. My house growing up was about 5 minutes away from where Amber, who the Amber Alert was named after, was abducted. I was her same age and would also ride my bike around not too far from there. Literally a worst nightmare. One of the Kennedys was hid from the world in my hometown after she got a lobotomy. It's incredibly sad. Wait, what? The girls who tried to kill their friend for the Slenderman? When I would drive home from college, I drove by the skating rink they plotted it at every time. My high school had the pregnancy pack. They made a Lifetime movie about it. Casey Anthony and her parents lived right down the street from me. My papa was the news correspondent in Florida on this case. I actually know more than I wish I did about it. Look up Ginny Mae in Colorado. It's horrific, actually. I live in Colorado. It is horrific. One of my aunts slapped my uncle back in the 80s, and their last name is Rap, so there was a whole article written about it called The Rap Slap. Was watching an episode of Snapped and was like, oh, this was in my hometown and the murderer was my old friend from high school. Oh my god. Someone was stealing packages from a guy's garage, so he booby-trapped his house Tom and Jerry style with guns and ropes tied to doorknobs. He forgot, opened the door, and died in his driveway. Oh my god. J.C. Lee Duggard was held a few blocks away from our first home in Antioch. My ex's dad worked with her captor and even went to his house. He had no idea she was being held in the backyard. Ugh. I graduated from Columbine. My brother was in the cafeteria. Did I finally win something for the trauma? I actually went to the feeder school for Columbine, so we were the first school put on lockdown when this happened, or while this was happening. Born and raised in Cleveland. Ariel Castro. That whole arc was absolutely insane. Ironically, I was standing in a McDonald's when the news broke the girls escaped. It was a wild time. 172 decomposing bodies were found stacked and scattered across a mortuary. There were so many it started to stink up the highway through the town, and it was 5 miles away. Still an ongoing investigation. What? Kendrick Johnson found in the gym rolled up in a wrestling mat. The two popular Bell brothers last seen near him, their dad Rick Bell is an FBI agent. Cover up. Kendrick's family still in protest. There's a great Crime Junkies episode about this. Crazy. In 1972, Steven Stainer was abducted from my hometown, Merced, California. He was missing for 14 years when he escaped to save another boy. Years later, his brother Carrie became a serial killer in Mariposa, California. Well, that was a roller coaster. My cousin's boyfriend turned out to be a jail escapee who was living under an alias. We figured it out when we saw him on America's Most Wanted. We had the news and everything at our house. Oh my god. Small town, 11,000 population, 13 unsolved murders in the last 5 years. Girl, move. Ted Bundy was caught in my town, Pensacola. A family friend of mine met him at a bar and said he was really charming, and he invited her to his hotel, but she had an intuition feeling not to go. Ladies, always listen to your gut. It's there to save you. A guy from my high school was blindfolded with the rest of his sports team, and they were told they'd be kissing hot cheerleaders. It was their moms. Bro was full on making out with his mom, and she was aware. Jail. Golden State serial killer was living a couple houses down from me the whole time. They caught him the year I moved out. A cop in my town faked his own suicide and caused a massive manhunt, all because he was embezzling money from a youth police group and didn't want to be caught. What? In 2011, school was canceled because 50 animals were on the loose. Lions, tigers, and bears. It's featured in Tiger King, and there is suspected to be foul play associated with their release and the owner's death. Wait, lions, tigers, bears? The Wizard of Oz trifecta? Like, what? The summer after high school graduation, an 18-year-old girl hid her pregnancy, killed the newborn, and threw it in a dumpster. She ended up marrying her defense attorney shortly after getting out of jail. I'm a fan of true crime, but not when it's this close to home. Ugh.